to finding calm in the chaos. I am Denise Sith, and this is my podcast. Hello, everybody. It's Denise. Welcome to another episode of Finding Calm in the Chaos. Oh my God, this is episode 194. Can you believe it? I'm kind of mind blown myself, but apparently it's a big thing when you hit 200 episodes as well. So we've had, 10,000 plus downloads and almost 200 episodes now. Crazy. I forget how many years I've been doing this. I think we're on 2.5, right? Or something like that. Oh gosh, I don't know. I don't know the details right now. Happy Saturday, my friends. As you can tell, my voice is holding up 2 podcasts in a row. Whoop, whoop. You know what I'm saying? What is going on? Today, I'm just going to give you some updates. Today, the boys are at the Pinewood Derby. Don't we love the Pinewood Derby from the Scouts? I don't know. Peter's car always looks like a total shit show. And they have so many, I don't get, what's the point of all the weights? And I'm like, can't it just be aerodynamic? Why has it got to have weights on it? I mean, they spend so much time drilling, and might I add, that's where the story's going. So they have these weights, and they roll in. There's round ones that look like batteries that get stuck in. And you gotta the Pinewood Derby car is not that big anyway. I mean, it's just like a piece of wood, right? And so I got Mr. Sith, who says he's going to work on this car early every year. And then every year he works on it the weekend before. I kid you not. Are any of you just shocked by that revelation? I'm not. So then if you're listening, Mr. Sith, you do know it's true. Boy, you know it's true. I don't even know where I went. I've lost my mind completely, just so you guys know. 2025 is the year of me being healthy, except for my mind. I've just lost it. So I don't have to worry about whether or not it's healthy. It's just gone. It's like, bye, see you later, whatever. Seriously, I almost snorted into the mic. Kind of got it there at the last minute. So boys are at the Pinewood Derby today. I personally need to find things to do more often because I found that, and I have been sick. So I'm going to, hey, in my defense, I have been super sick for a majority of the new year up until a week ago. I need to get out of the house, alone, freaking alone. I don't want anything. I just need to be away from the people in my house, including the animals. That's you, Buster. I need to be done. They're with me all the time. They're always here. Don't get me wrong. I love my family. I wouldn't fight for them so much if I didn't. But man, now that Sheikah's gone, I feel like I lost my only girl. Now it's just me and a bunch of boys. They're all gross, peeing on everything. I'm just saying. That's a whole nother story. Let's stick with the Pinewood Derby car. Squirrel. The dog looked up wait, what, Mom? So yeah, they're going to fix this car. They're weighing it down. Peter paints. My kid is not artistic. I signed him up for art. I pulled him out of sewing because he wasn't having a good time. And in all honesty, I felt like the teacher's nice enough. Okay, she's an expert sewer. She's fantastic. She had her kids in the class and her friend, and they also helped out. But in all honesty, he didn't really get how to work a sewing machine. It was kind of just expected. And I'm like, how is this a beginner's class if you don't even show them how the machine works? And a lot of them were old machines, so they were always jamming or the thread was coming undone. And he was just too frustrated. So I'm going to let him sew on my machine here and make stuff or whatnot. And then I'm going to, I've switched him into art. I love the art teacher at our co-op. I volunteer in her last class with the little kids that all got me sick. But they're awesome kids. I'm just saying. She's an amazing artist. In fact, also we're having a mom's paint night. And I love her paint nights. because I don't drink. So it's like, I don't need wine. I just like, can I bring a soda or water and just like kind of do my thing? And so that's what I'm going to do. I'm just signing up for all her paint nights for the moms. 2 of them already. Fantabulous. So the Pinewood Derby car, we're coming full circle, folks. Stick with me. I'm back 100% on all my random rants, all of my like side streets. We're doing it all this year, people. So they've got the car, right? So Pete's painting it and it's like, just whatever, you know, we had to tell him like, okay, listen, you can't paint the whole car black because you can't put a color on top of black. I mean, he's just using like temper paints. Like, no, like you got to paint color and then like accentuate with black. He's like obsessed with black right now. I'm like, okay, whatever. So I'm like, Pete, like I'm at this point, like we don't even give him markers or anything that's black. I don't during school, or the whole picture's going to be black. He just does not, it's not his thing. His handwriting has improved dramatically. His printing has improved dramatically, but coloring, I know he can do it because he will give me stuff, and I actually have it displayed in my office where he's colored something and I almost think like somebody else did it. I'm like, who did this? Did somebody give you this picture? We were at Old Navy once and they had coloring out for the kids in the kids section. He's like, I'm going to go over here and do this while you're picking out my vacation clothes. That's what it was, actually. And so I'm putting all this stuff together. You know, you like this? And he'd look up. No. Yeah. Do you like this? Yeah. You know, that kind of thing. And so he finishes the picture and I'm like, okay, we got to try all this stuff on. So we go into the thing and he goes, oh, here, this picture's for you. And I'm like, wait, did you color this picture? Because it was so perfect. And I thought, why can't you color like this while we're doing stuff? Like, really? So I know it's the potential is there, but he's sort of like me. If he doesn't feel like doing it, he's like, nope. You know what I'm saying? Like, done. So Pinewood Derby car. So Mr. Sith has like a drill and a saw and like all this stuff. And it's on my kitchen table with a piece of like painters, you know, like painter's paper that you lay on the floor, like when you're painting like the borders and stuff. It's like pink, right? Or I don't know, I guess it can be other colors. And you just paint it down. And then this way you can get in and out without dragging stuff through, right? He's got that on my table. Like that's going to protect it from a saw or a drill. And then he's sawing, but with the piece on my table. I have a wooden table. So here's me like, I'm like, you know what? I can't anymore. Like when there comes a time where you just have to, I have to just stop. Because would I do that? Absolutely not. Would 96% of the population do that? Nope. But there is that 4% where Mr. Sith fits. And they're completely like batshit crazy. And I'm like, why would you do that to your table? And I'm thinking, wow. And here I am thinking, wouldn't it be nice to have new furniture? Not really. I can't even imagine. Be having a heart attack over the table now that I didn't even buy. And could you imagine if I bought a new table that I actually wanted? And they're sawing on the table. And then he's got, here's the best part. Mr. Sith is an OSHA nightmare. So he's holding the car in one hand, and then he has a drill, like a drill, okay? And he is holding the car in his hand and drilling a hole in the back. And there's maybe an inch thick of the wood. And it's a Pinewood Derby car. So here's me looking like, okay, there's no safety glasses. He has no gloves on. He's physically holding a drill in one hand and a car in the other. It's not a vice. It's not nothing, right? Because safety is never first when it comes to Mr. Sith. This is also being done at my kitchen table. And I just did the floors. So can you say sawdust? All right. Putting that out there right now too. Whatevs, right? Then as he's doing it, I'm thinking to myself, you know, in my head, because you can't ever tell Mr. Sith these things, because sometimes he looks at me like I'm insane. Like, how would you even do that? That's so stupid, Denise. I mean, he doesn't say that, but this is the look I get from him. Like, oh, duh. Like, why, you don't think I know what I'm doing? And then I'm watching him drill a pine wood derby car an inch, less than an inch, okay? Piece of wood, like 1 by 2 inch, okay? Because it's long, because it's the car, it's wide, right? It's wide. So he's in the back part. So it's like a half an inch big, but maybe an inch and a half, 2 inches wide. I don't know, however long width is on a pine wood derby car. And he's pushing the drill in with his hand, holding the piece of wood. So here's me. There's a million things going through my head right now. That car can splinter, fall apart. That car could slip, crack, and then the drill goes through your hand. That drill could just slip in general and go through your hand. You can have something splinter out, go into your eyeball. That would hurt. Like, I don't understand. Like, am I the only person who walks around? I know I already have that personality complex where, with childhood trauma and all that, where no matter where I go, I assess the danger of the situation. That's annoying enough. I can't drive without thinking how I'm going to prevent an accident or watching around. I can always spot people from all over because I'm looking everywhere. Even if I'm not in the passenger in a car, I know where the people you need to stay away from are. It's insane that he literally walks through life like, it's almost like, does anybody know, like, do you guys know who Evel Knievel is? Or am I too freaking old for that? If you don't know who Evel Knievel is, like, freaking Google it, okay? Mr. Sith is like Evel Knievel stunts, but he himself is Mr. Magoo. And if you do not know who Mr. Magoo is either, Google it. That is scary, my friends. It is scary. And I live with this man every day, just wondering when the big accident is going to happen. He puts things down. This is apparently a man thing because I've talked to numerous friends whose husbands all do this, where they put something down somewhere and I will watch it sit at that table for days before anyone will pick it up. Here's something I did. And if Mr. Sith is listening, he'll know he failed this experiment. So it is a reasonable expectation to me that if I need to bring something upstairs, I'll usually walk it upstairs, okay? Unless I'm really sore and I'm not feeling well, which has basically been me all year since Christmas, right? So I will take whatever needs to go upstairs, whether I went shopping or I did, I changed out the towels in the kitchen, so I have the dirty ones, and there is a camper upstairs in my bedroom for them. I will put them on the stair, and I will ask, I will just assume, right, that if it is on the stair, that you will bring it up. If there is toilet paper in a huge package or paper towels at the bottom of a stair, I mean, you know what I'm saying? My friends, if you have stuff that needs to go somewhere, if you put it all in one general area and you're either walking downstairs, upstairs, out to the garage, whatever it may be, you would rationally think that you're going to pull it up with you. So sometimes I'll have the dirty towels, like their little hand, the kitchen towels. I'll put them on the stairs so you can bring them up. The toilet paper, I'll put the big package at the end of the stair. You bring them up when you come, the linen closet's right upstairs. When I come in from grocery shopping, I don't even bring the stuff that goes out into the fridge in the garage. All of the drinks and the extra stuff and the big stuff and the extra freezer stuff, that goes out in the garage. That doesn't even come in with me. I unload it out there. It never even sees the inside of the house until I bring it in to consume it. It's crazy, right? So the other day, I got toilet paper. It sat downstairs for 7 days. Not even joking. Then I said, hey, okay, this is passive aggressive. And pretty much I give zero shits right now that it is. Because I am almost at awe at the amount of stress that is brought onto me in my household because nobody wants to see or do anything except for me. Not having it. I am going to have a healthy household. This is going to be a healthy year for me. And that includes my relationships and how things work in my households are going to be healthy. Me doing everything is not healthy. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is not healthy. And if this is happening in your house, stop it. Okay? Because I let it go too long. So now my husband is spoiled. He is spoiled because he doesn't even understand. Like, I will talk about the things I do. My husband doesn't even eat the same thing for dinner for months. Not even joking. And people would just be like, oh, my wife makes tacos every Tuesday and every Monday we have something meatless. And on Wednesdays it's meatloaf. And on Thursdays it's something pasta. And I'm just so tired of it. Okay, my husband doesn't eat like that. I make something new every single day, unless we super like it and then we make it for lunch. I'm not even joking. We do. So that toilet paper sat downstairs for 7 days. 7 days. Because he doesn't know, but I'm actually keeping track of it now because we're cutting out the gaslighting right away. Right? Nobody's going to tell me, oh, I didn't see it there. How do you not see a huge 34-pack roll of toilet paper? You know what I'm saying? Charmin, purple, hello, is the big package at the end of the chair. You have to walk around it to get on the stairs. That's where I put it. Just so it was really apparent. That stayed that way. So then I said, hey, on your way up, y'all can take the toilet paper up. That includes Peter. I mean, you can't carry toilet paper upstairs, and put it in the linen closet. Let me tell you, friends, do you know where that toilet paper went? Oh, it went upstairs, but it went in front of the linen closet door. And that's where it stood for another 4 days until I physically said, and I thought to myself, I kept moving it out because somebody kept moving it back in front of the linen closet. Like if it was out of the way of where the stairs were, because basically it was in front of the stairs at the bottom for somebody to bring it up. And then when I asked for it to be brought up, they just put it in front of the linen closet. When I say they, I mean Mr. Sith. And then I moved it around the corner. Like I just moved it to the side of the closet, which is the stairs. And it kept getting pushed back. And then I moved it to the front and I kept getting pushed back. But not once did anybody put it away until the weekend, 4 days later, where I said, hey, I'm wondering when anybody's going to actually put that toilet paper away inside the linen closet. It's kind of funny, right? That's why closets have doors. You can put stuff inside it and shut the door. And then this crazy thing happens. You can't see it until you need it. And then you open the door. And then like magic, there's fucking toilet paper there. And then you can just take what you need. I mean, okay. Is it just me? I also put dirty towels like I said, I put the dirty towel there to bring up so that they're in the hamper on the days we do the towels. Okay. And so literally that was there for 14 days until finally I said, which was just a couple days ago, when I put the towels on the end of the banister or on the stair itself, those go upstairs in the hamper because they're dirty. And then he went up to bed later that day, Mr. Sith. Peter also went to bed. It was also laid there as well. And then I stayed up to finish some crochet. And then when I shut the house down and went to walk upstairs, the towels were still on the stairs. It's like I talked to myself, and then everybody is surprised when I lose my shit because I've said something that, like, how much more can I make it apparent? And so I was saying, I don't have time to do anything. I wrote a list the other day in devotional. They said, write down the things that bring you joy. And so I wrote down like all these things, right? I wrote down, I love drawing. I love, drawing in, coloring in my devotional book. I have like a coloring book, devotional book. I love it. Okay. I love reading. I love having coffee with friends. I love crocheting. I love recording this podcast. Little things like that. I had like 3 other things too. And then I looked at this and I cried. I'm going to be really honest with you guys. I cried because every single one of those things over the last 4 months, I have given up because I don't have time to do them, or I had to give up that time to do things for my household or my son or my husband because he won't step up to the game. And I just thought, this is so unacceptable. It's unacceptable. So my biggest struggle right now is that I'm trying, and maybe you can feel me out a little bit. Oh, you know what? Before I even say that, we'll take a quick break to get that out of the way, and then I'll wrap up kind of what I'm working on. And if you guys are working on it too, some suggestions, because I'm reading an amazing book right now. So let's take a quick break. Yeah, a little short break here for the sponsor. You know what it is. And we'll be right back.
Hello, I'm Peter Sith, and I'm here to tell you about something you have to have for your kids. My new book, Popcorn World. Peek inside my creative brain and meet Dylan, an ordinary kid who accidentally finds a portal to his new world in his basement while looking for his lost soccer ball. Your kids will totally be able to relate to Dylan and all his emotions, trials, and big act of kindness in my story. I worked on creating this book over the summer with my awesome tutor, Dr. Peterson. She helped me guide me through the parts of my book, and boom, Popcorn World was created. Another cool fact, my mom does all the drawings. Trust me, these pictures and the story are super cool, but you can find out yourself by picking up a copy on Amazon, and it's available worldwide. So even if my family and friends in Slovakia, Canada, Scotland, and Italy can get a copy of Popcorn World. Don't forget the name, Popcorn World. Available on Amazon now! Let's make reading cool.
Hello, we're back. Second half. Okay. I know we were a long one on Wednesday. I don't know how long this is going to go. I guess whenever we feel like it. It's part of having it being my podcast. Anyway, my friends, so I feel like what I'm working on right now is I become so frustrated because OCD, childhood trauma, you factor in all the things, right? And repetitive. To me, I have issues with repetitively having to say something. So people will be like, oh, hey, you would make a great teacher. I do, and I don't. So I'm the kind of person who I need to tell you something, and you need to take really good freaking notes, because I will ask you if you have any questions. And if you tell me no, don't even think of coming back to me and asking me a question that we already covered, but you didn't take notes and didn't think it was important. So this is the constant struggle I have with my husband, is that he wants to take 0 notes, but he can't remember 0, zilch, nothing. And I'm like, okay, you have a job. He works 2 jobs. One's remote, one's in-house at any given time. So he's either in the house and remote to another one, or he's in the other house and remote to the one he was just in. So I get that. It's still 8 to 9 hours a day. Okay. My day is not 8 to 9 hours. Right now, I'm averaging my workday for my family, schooling, housework, groceries, wrapping up all the stuff for vacation. I also do all the finances. My day is about 18 hours long. I wish I was joking. And when I sit down to do something simple like Italian, I'm really going hard into like the second part of my learning of Italian. I went through Duolingo. I mentioned that on last one. I went through Legendary's Duolingo, and now I have refreshers on Duolingo. We have the family program for the my husband and My husband and Peter also take it. So Mr. Sith is doing German and Peter is doing Italian as well. And so I need to get conversational. So my friend Tiziana in Rome has been texting with me on WhatsApp in Italian. It takes me a while sometimes to respond because I know some words, but I don't know other words. So I have to look them up. And you got to start from somewhere, right? So going back and forth with the dictionary with what I want. It's really hard to use a translator. Like I have a translator, but the thing is I feel like you really need to look it up. I think I would be more comfortable using a translator if I could come up with maybe 95% of the words off the top of my head. Right now, I'm at about 60. So I still feel like I need to use that dictionary to get those skills in. And then I would feel more comfortable using a translator and then going through each word to see if I had used the right one, if that makes sense. I'm also submersing myself in Italian movies, like texting. Apparently there's a home shopping network in Italy that you can also use. I can't find it yet, but I'm trying. I thought it was on YouTube, but it's just Italian merchandise, but it's in English. Reading Italian books and then that kind of stuff. So that's what I'm doing with that. I feel like I shouldn't have to feel like I have to stay up all night in order to get my stuff done. Because again, I haven't touched any of my illustration. I haven't touched any of my personal books. I'm behind 3 projects in crochet because I have things I need to crochet for right now, and I'm behind in that. I'm behind in everything. I just feel super isolated, and I'm like, this has to stop. So what I'm working on is, because I have to repetitively say the same thing over and over, and I've talked to my therapist about this, and you guys know I see a therapist. I love her to death. I've seen her for a decade. And here's the deal. She has walked me through and seen so many changes in me. But this repetitive issue is getting people to hear me and then actually follow through what they say they're going to do. So I actually just got yelled at by my therapist last week because everybody made a big deal about, you should write him notes. I write my husband notes and lists. And here's me. Why would I need to write my grown-ass adult husband a note or a list? Why doesn't he write his own list? We talk about stuff in a family meeting. I write my stuff down. Why isn't he writing his stuff down? I have a schedule for Peter I had to write. He's 9. Why do I have to write? I have like 100 lists in my head. Why do I have to write one but for a grown man? Oh, no, Denise, you should really. I write one for my husband. So here's me. You know what? I'm going to prove you all wrong. I'm going to write a damn list. So I went through and I wrote a list. Monday, Sunday through Saturday. All the things, well, I would love to help you out, but I don't know what to do. That's sad, because if I was dead or non-existent in the world, how would you take care of your household? Don't let your husbands or any of your spouse, okay? I don't care, your spouse, whatever they are, okay? Don't let them tell you they don't know what to do in the house. What the hell would you do in the house if I wasn't here? Would it just be in a state of disarray? You would never do your dishes. You would never cook. You would never feed your dog. You would never do laundry. You'd never do your linens. You'd never do the floor. You wouldn't vacuum. You wouldn't clean a window. You wouldn't take out the garbage. I mean, like, wait, what? That's standard stuff, man. That's what big people do. I don't get that. And so Buster's acting like a fool in the background if you guys hear him moaning, like I have a hippo in the background. So I made a list so that he wouldn't have to ask me, because it's super triggering to me. Because I'm always thinking about what needs to be done, even though I have to sit and rest because I am overstimulated, anxious, tired, lupus flaring. Sometimes I just need to sit. And even though I'm still being assaulted by questions from my son. The dog's poking me to go out for the 900th time in 3 minutes. And everyone will talk over me. The TV's loud. You've got a tablet on. He's on the phone. He's barking. He's like, stop. I deserve my own time. Like, I just shouldn't have to put a off air sign on my forehead when I'm sitting here looking at my phone, reading a book, reading a Bible, and you're going to come up in my face. Both of them do it. Both of them, including the dog. So all three of them. And I'm always thinking, I'm reading this devotional. It's not long, but what could have I gotten done in the meantime? I really need to get through this chapter of my ebook, but I could be doing this. Maybe, do you know how many times I've gotten ready in the morning before I come downstairs, and I will vacuum, clean the toilets, clean the sinks, and set the bed and dust before I even come downstairs, because I know if I don't do it, I'll never get back there. That's crazy. And it's unfair. And I know that's unhealthy, and I'm going healthy this year, so I'm just not doing it anymore. So now let's go back to that list I made that I got yelled about. So I made a list and went through and took the time to write all the little things that are done every day. We're talking there's no more than 5 items. Dusting, wipe the window ledge in the front where Buster's, sliming it up all the time because he's barking or resting his head there or looking out the window. Vacuum, Swiffer, dust, take the garbage out, clean the dog feeder. You know what I'm saying? I made that. Clean the countertop. Little things like that. Okay? Sorry, I just kind of blinked out there. It's just unacceptable, right? So here's a list. I made you a list of all the standard things that need to be done that I do in this house, and y'all wonder why I'm tired. Because my husband, I know, walks in that door after sitting on a train for whatnot. On some days he's on the train, right? Here's me thinking, damn, I wish I was on a train. Could you imagine an hour on the train? Shit. I'd get my reading done. I'd get my Italian done. I would grocery shop for everything coming forward. I would get a lesson plan out. I would do everything. In an hour? Quiet? Because he's on the quiet train. Apparently they're quiet trains now. Bonus. I'm like, wait, what? That's fantastical. I can't even imagine. And then he'll walk in the door, and this is what happened right before he came in, okay? I made breakfast, cleaned whatever part of the house in, started homeschool after I made breakfast. Now I'm cleaning the dishes, walking Peter through everything, doing the dog. Because this is how it works. You read a sentence, dog wants to go out. You read the next sentence, dog wants to come back in. You read another sentence, dog wants to go back out. You read another sentence, dog wants to go. I wish I was joking. Sometimes I want to choke this dog out. I'm like, are you serious right now? Get away from me. And I don't mean to be mean, but how many times? It's I am used and abused by everyone in the house that lives and breathes. It's insane. Oh, be quiet. It's just the babies. He's growling at the window because there's probably a squirrel across the street. But he's gotten a lot better with that. But it's insane. I'm sure he'll act Cujo any minute now. What was I talking about? Oh, so it's just I'm doing that. And then by the time you get through any kind of lessons, then I already have to go and do lunch. But then I got to clean up lunch. He starts his next dog afternoon stuff. I'm trying to get Italian in while I'm in the bathroom. I get out of the bathroom. We got to finish up lessons. Then I got to get on Pete about his reading, right? Because he's always giving me a hard time about it. I'm like, okay, it wasn't 20 minutes. It was 8. Because I got to set my clock. He has a clock, but sometimes he cheats. So now I set my clock. And I'm like, really? It's just a waste of time. It's the amount of time this kid tries to be conniving. He could have finished it 3 hours ago. It's such a pain. I can't crochet. Meanwhile, in between, I'm mopping floors, sweeping floors, wiping counters, prepping dinner. I'll make a cup of coffee. Now, mind you, I did make one in the morning, but I heated it up in the microwave about 20 times. Not even exaggerating. Not even exaggerating. Now, normally when it's hot outside, I don't even bother. Once it goes cold, I literally take it from the coffee cup into a glass, throw some ice in it, flip some True Whip on top, and now it's an iced coffee. It's just you got to do what you got to do. This is like my day. Are you exhausted yet just listening to me? Because I'm not done. Because also, while I'm doing homeschool or prepping dinner or doing that, I'm also on my phone doing my grocery list or picking out the meals from like Hello Fresh, right? Because I got to check, make sure it doesn't have spicy stuff, any weird stuff for me. You know, I actually do that. I know people just look at the pretty picture. I look at all the ingredients. That's the whole point, right? For me. Then I will get it all done. We'll pack everything up. Snack time. I'll sit down. Peter will be putting on something on. Tablet time is over. Tell me about your book, because I got to make sure he read it. Okay, so that's another thing. So when he reads a chapter in his book, I have to read the chapter too, so I can ask him questions to make sure he read the chapter. I'm not keeping up with my books, but I certainly know what the hell's going on with his. I mean, really? What am I doing to myself? Then I finally sit down, and then the dog wants to come back in. So I'll get back up and be like, oh, hurry up, because your coffee's still hot, Denise. Hurry up, you can do this, man. And I'll sit down, and I'll take a sip of my coffee, and up, like, what's going to happen? Anyway, so let's keep it in the flow. Let's keep the flow. As soon as I sit down, and I take out my phone to kind of look up a reel and take 10 minutes of dead time, right? Then I'll hear the garage door open and Mr. Sith will come in. And that means it's time for dinner. So I got to get up, shut my door, and he'll come around and look at me holding my phone. And I know he thinks I sat there all fucking day. And I literally just got there. And my back is raging and my ankles are swollen. And I'm just trying to keep up with my water intake for the day. It's like, are you kidding me right now? And then I'll get up and make dinner. And then I'll ask them to set, this is every night. I'll ask them to set the table. They never do. Sometimes they do. Sometimes they don't. Majority of the time they don't. So I'll take the plates out and rattle stuff around a little. Maybe they'll do that. They're playing games, watching TV. They're on their phones. It's all fun and games. It's relax time. It's relax time. I got to monitor dishes. I clean up after myself, so there's very little he needs to clean. But he'll leave it there all night, do it at the very last minute. And here's me like, yeah, I can't sit here and crochet knowing there's shit in the kitchen. Like, I can see it. Our family room's connected. You know what I'm saying? So the list. Let's go back to the ultimate. What is all this about, Denise? It's about the list. So I will tell you that nothing's been done on the list. Maybe for the first 2 days that it was put up because I was micromanaging. This is what we need to do on the list today. And then I said, Denise, there's a list. Why are you doing that? That defeats the purpose of the list. So I stopped because that's me, OCD, managing, got to be in charge. Let it go, right? I did a good job. I let it go. And then nobody looked at the list again but me. And let me tell you what that list does to somebody with OCD or high-end ADHD, meaning, so there's low-end and high-end. I don't mean that in a bad or a good way because they're both shitty, but one side of ADHD, low-end, everything's a mess and you can't get it together. And high-end ADHD, everything's completely spotless and you are in an eternal state of organization and cleaning. Horrible on both ends. But to someone with OCD specifically, to look at the list that's already in my head 24/7 on paper, on my fridge, in a plastic sheet so it won't get dirty. Did you expect anything else? Is a second reminder of the same thing I already knew that nobody's going to do but me. Yep. So I told my therapist, I said, the list you guys told me to make was really full of shit because I called everybody's bluff. He doesn't need a list. He doesn't want to do anything. I don't mean that in a bad way. And everyone's like, oh, he's a man. I don't give a shit. He's an adult. And until he works that part out, I got to learn to let go. I got to learn that it is okay for me not to do this shit. And it's also okay for me to expect both adults in the house. I'm working 18, 19-hour days. He's working 8 to 9-hour days. You need a GTFOH right now. I almost forgot the H. If you think that it all falls on me because I work from home, that's a no. And if you're a mom, I don't care if you homeschool or not. If you are taking care of all the household things and the grocery, they don't have to think. They don't need to think where they eat. They don't need to think that they have paper to wipe their ass. They don't have to think that they have towels that are clean to take a shower. They don't have to think about where their shampoo or their soap or their shaving stuff comes from, or their toothpaste, or the fact that they have a new toothbrush every 30 days because I replace them. So they're not scuzzy. You know, and not even you're welcome. It's just expected. That's my problem. And my therapist goes, well, what exactly is on the list that they didn't do? So I said, oh, it's funny you said that because I did my list pretty on Canva. So I could pull it up right now on my phone. And I did. And I told her Sunday, laundry for Denise, mop, sweep and mop. Monday, clean kitchen counters, dust the house, clean the slider window. She's like, stop. I'm like, wait, what? She's like, stop. That's just like chores and errands. Chores. It's like house chores. Yeah. She goes, you don't write a list for shit that's what she said. Her exact words. You don't write a list shit for normal things that adults are responsible for. And I'm like, well, I'm sorry. I just need him to do those. I don't want to give him any extracurricular tasks because then nothing will ever get done. And she was like, yeah, that's no. Throw that list out. Throw that list out. And you know what I did? I did. And I'm waiting for somebody to notice it. I have a better chance of somebody taking up the toilet paper the first day it's on the stairs. There's the snort. I knew it was coming. So what has helped me get through this, and it's really helped, is that I started listening. A friend of mine, she was like, hey, did you read the new one? Like, stop. It's getting good. Because she discusses it on her podcast and talking about Mel Robbins, right? Oh, I forget. How sad am I? But she's the one that wrote the 3-second rule, all that. So Mel just wrote a book called Let Them. And it's a proven theory. This isn't like something she made up, right? She just took a theory that's already out there and talked to a bunch of professionals and elaborated upon it and placed her little special magic flair on it and mellified it, as I like to say, and came up with the book, Let Them. So I'm in chapter 10. I'm in the second unit now or something. And I will tell you that the first half of the book it was eye-opening, but at the other time it was a little painful because I am bringing so much stuff onto myself, and it is twofold painful. And when you have stuff like OCD or anxiety issues and name them all, right? You got something that causes you to care, do, or say more than other people who are okay sliding by, right? At the par, or sometimes under par. Mostly it's under par, okay? But where are the Eagles, okay? And it's really, I just think I did a golf reference. I don't even know what the hell was that? Oh my God, right? Par, Eagle, that's golf. Oh my gosh. Wow. I had this, my brain got fancy and remembered shit for a moment. And then I was like, wait, I just caught myself. Sorry. And so the Let Them book so far has been amazing. And I'm not going to go through it. Listen to Mel's podcast. Listen, follow her on Instagram. I've followed her for years. Okay. But I got the audiobook and I'm trying to do a chapter a day. I couldn't get a minute all last night, and I had trouble sleeping, so I just listened to it while I was like winding down for the night, and it was really eye-opening. It truly is really giving me just tips and really good techniques on how to just let go. And when people do things, that there's a way that you can just be like, okay, it has to be addressed. Like I'm not just going to be like, hey, Mr. Sith doesn't do anything and, just let him, right? Well, I'm going to let him in the moment to let me bring in, process all the information. Why is it triggering me? Don't react, walk away, think about it, sit on it, don't let it boil. Once it's simmering, be like, hey, we need to talk about this situation that happened. It was very triggering to me, and this is why. And, I need to know why that wasn't done or was done in this way, because I just want to know what your expectations are when I say this versus my expectations. And I really think that this can help me. But right now, I'm so still stressed out to the max because I was doing all these things, you guys, while I was sick. While I was sick, I was managing my household like I was not sick. And so it builds up and it builds up and it builds up and it builds up. And then by the time I'm better, I'm like a freaking bomb. Like I'm a grenade with no fucking pin. And I'm just blowing and then blowing and then blowing, and it just has to stop because that's not healthy. And so I'm trying to find any methodology I can find to help me navigate life in this new year in a healthy, constructive way. And so far, this book seems to have been helping me. So maybe it can help some of you. So that is my update for today. I'll give you an update on the Pinewood Derby, like how they did or whatnot after, and then on Wednesday, the 12th. And you guys have an amazing Saturday. And until next week, lead with kindness and lean on God. Bye.